Hey everyone! As you can see, I am back to rank 1 in Clash of Worlds, and I'll show you the clear in this video. I'm just gonna redo it. Two things I do want to mention. This isn't my strat. I got this strat from Go. That's his username on Discord. I hope I didn't butcher the Vietnamese pronunciation. I'm still learning Vietnamese, so please bear with me. Speaking of bears, Go means bear, but on the FFBE leaderboard, he's called Crab. So that confused me. That really confused me. Well done, Go, for that one. Well done. Anyway, it's her, their strat, and it's really cool. It is a wonky strat, and you guys know I love wonky strats. It's not using Karten, we're using modifiers, but the 75 one, it's just too much to handle, to be honest. And this is it. So no EX plus 2 or EX plus 3 Karten. So for everyone who hates Karten just like I do, this is for you. It uses EX plus 3 Ferris. Now you don't actually need EX plus 3 Ferris. EX plus 2 is fine. The upside is you're starting with more morale, which is nice, but it does nothing. You still have to do in total a morale gain of 300%, meaning 30,000 morale gain. Because if you didn't know by now, 1 morale point equals 1% morale point is, or 320 morale points, or 300 morale percent translate into 30,000 morale points on the score. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, things such as bulwarks, what's it called? Morale gain, I don't know the name of it. Cheer up, that's 600, that's 6%, for example. It's pretty good, right? It's almost already 1/50th of what we need. Is it 1/50th? Yeah, it's 50th of what we need. So, and Ferris is great for this because of fast attack, which you can triple cast, meaning you have a triple cast of barrage, so to speak. Super good. It does 7.35% morale each turn. It's really good. And I'll explain we are going at it. The team gearing also changed quite a bit. So let's get right into it. So everyone on the team needs, now this is, it's always bugging out, but I went overboard, but everyone on the team needs 95% or better light, ice or water resistance, and 135 or better light resistance. Because we are using Bar Waterga for 80%, we are using Bar Blissega for 80% ice resistance, and for light, we only have Calamity Border. So this is the gearing for Lara Croft, as you can see, base form, lots of LB fill here. Yuna's necklace, super important because we're using Ferris, so Yuna's necklace is the go-to one to boost her damage. She's on Calamity Border, and again, I do want to stress this, in terms of resistance gearing, this is super expensive. I'm using multiple copies of STMR, like multiple copies Duty to the World, multiple copies Lucas Valentine, multiple copies Gallant's Cloak. I personally even have one too few Gallant's Cloak. I would have used a third one, I only have 2. Same as Fina's Kimono, I am using 4 or 5. I would have loved a +1, so a 5th or 6th one. It's a lot. Also would have preferred one more Kryla as well. I can get it, I was just lazy and it worked out anyway. So these are the abilities. She's using her own card. Now in Brave Shift, she is using DPS gear. And her Brave Shift, as you can see, the only resistance she has is the resistance she baseline has got, which is -50 and neutral to these. Now this is by design. I'm just banking on the fact that the boss does not do two cerulean flashes. If the boss does more than one cerulean flash, Lara is dead, sadly. But even if she dies, we can entirely recover and it's fine. Next up, Bulwark. Now Bulwark still needs the same old 375 to all after buffs, so we made sure that's the case. I overcapped on both light and ice a bit. Although light is just barely hanging on, we need 335 light before anything else because we're only buffing it via Calamity Border. But we overboarded it on ice, so it's fine. There's this little leeway. Still, double Moogle Charm, absolutely necessary. You can't do this with just one because you'll be lacking in terms of resistances. And very important is the new journey card for the guts, because we will proc Bulwark's guts on turn 1. Braveshift identically geared, with the only exception being the weapon. They are using their own STMR because Bulwark's Braveshift has more innate light resistance, so we can just spec away a little bit and just barely hanging on by 335, which is the bare minimum for them in the Braveshift. So that's fine. Let's move on to Ferris using Luna Freya's Vision card. Base form is entirely built for DPS. Ferris starts in Braveshift. She will stay in Braveshift for the entire fight. Well, with only one exception. On the last 10th turn, she will go back to base and limit burst for us. So this is the gearing, very cool. King of Destruction Soma, STMR, super good for her. So she reaches 275 LB, 270 EBO, 280 Esper damage. And she deals around about 130 million damage, which isn't that much, all things considered. But her physical field, which only boosts Lara's and Sky's damage, it does about 17% more damage to the party than it would be not using her instead of Karten, for example. Karten, well, they are about on par, but if you think about the damage gained from all of the party slots, it's a lot more. Especially for me, who has only EX plus 2 Karten, using this team is a huge damage gain. The Braveshift, let's check out the abilities first. Double Conductors, Knight's Metal, Cosmic Cloak, so lots of resistances. I also gave her Luminous Cloves to have her LB filled, guaranteed by turn 10, which isn't that hard to do regardless, but we need to sing 2 at some point. As you can see, she is on Zidane's STMR. And yeah, she sits at enough resistances, as you can see. A little bit overcapped too, but it's fine. All right, next up, Louise. Louise is on full Hisame scroll. If you don't have the full one, go use the half scroll. So the half scroll is also fine. She sits at the necessary resistances, as you can see. These are the abilities. The vision card is I Could Kiss You, which is the Trials of Mana one for more magic points, 80% in total. And this is the Braveshift. You don't technically need Krill's Scrunchie. Sensor told me that. He also cross-checked the gear, and he told me, well, after I recorded this. So we don't really need Krill's Scrunchie for the turns where she is in her base form. She'll be fine regardless. Yeah. So these are the abilities. And she sits at 300 aquatic, 300 plant. And yeah, one thing to note though, she does not have max magic. I wasn't able to get it because my weapon rolls, they are bad, as you can see. Same for this one. They aren't the best, so there is still some room to grow. You can swap out Krill's Scrunchie. I don't know if there's a magic hat that provides magic percent, but if there is, you can swap this in, for example. That's going to be fine. All right. Next up is Sky. Sky is wearing Cannon's Blade and Lightning Saber, because on turn 1 she's using Merc. So thus she can do 4 elements at once. Also using lots of resistance gear. She's also on World Destroyer. If you don't have Mother's Return, you can use another copy of Cool Beauty. It also has water resistance, amongst other things, so that's a decent substitute. And she also is using Lara's card, mainly for the LB fill 500 and the resist or the immunities. All right, the Brave Shift. I swapped out the chest piece, so this we are using now Kingly Raiment, and we are using Paladin's Departed Necklace. I don't know where this is from, probably some event, but it also has 50% light resist, which is great. It also does attack. It doesn't say specific weapon equipped, so I don't know what it is, but whatever. It works, and that's the important part. So these are the abilities. And we are sitting at 300 LB, 125 aquatic, 150 plant. So she does a lot of damage actually. Oops. All right. Also Sky's Brave Shifted Bride. Best. Oh, by the way, before, one thing to note, according to calculations, at the higher variance regions, you can swap out this weapon for another Lara's STMR. This should give you, but only at the higher variance rolls, this is a DPS gain, mainly for the reason because it has so much more attack, right? So if I did this, I'd have more attack, about, I don't know, 120 more attack, and that actually translates into more damage. It's something, if you're lacking a little bit of damage, like being 20 million short, you could try this and hope for a good variance roll. It's just a slight optimization though. And lastly, Tiana, base form. She only has 2 turns in base form, but for these 2 turns, Conductor's Baton is fine. And yeah, here it is. So these are her resistances. Now, I'm using these 2. Technically speaking, you could go for another Garland's Cloak or double Garland's Cloak. That's fine too. I just didn't have it, so I used these 2. And yeah, these are the abilities. Super important. Have her on dual cast, and you will see why in about a minute or 2. And her own vision card. And the Brave Shift uses this gearing here. Indestructible light, that is important, but we still managed to cap easily aquatic and plant. So we are using her chaining abilities. Okay, also small PSA, don't forget to up your magic on Ferris if you haven't used her ever since the pot update, because I noticed I didn't, so I had to go back and update her pots. I did all perfectly though, because I noticed this when I checked her. Ever since I pointed this out in his video that I forgot about Tiana's pots, I got a small PTSD from that. Anyways, with all that said, it's time to go and show off how this works. This strat is very much fail-proof. There's nothing that can go wrong. Well, technically there is. The chaining can go wrong on the very final turn. And I'll explain what is going wrong with the chaining on the final turn, because it's just an issue of my computer being bad. But we'll get to that in about 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, so Calamity Border on Lara. Bulwark does Chirrup and Clang. Ferris, and that is the huge part about her. She does fast attack, 6 to 8 attacks. Yeah, it's going to take him a while. Barblessaker, Louise, Merc on Sky, and Tiana, turn 1, and that is why we have dual cast. We're going to dual cast a Bar Watergar and Aurora, which is wind damage. So let's do all these, this, and let's go, and let's wait for half an hour until Ferris finishes. So because the number of attacks on Ferris is random, between 6 and 8, you will see morale values between 134, 132, and 133. So those are the only 3 values I've ever seen. And each turn you do this basically is 7.35% morale gain. And that is at an average of 7 attacks per turn. So we have 133, sounds about right. Alright, on turn 1, nobody takes damage other than Bulwark, and Bulwark gets his Guts procced because the boss has accuracy. We can't help it, it's fine. Alright, turn 2. It's super easy because most of the time you will be able to press reload, but first of all, we'll do Bulwark. He's gonna do Hurricane, Morale, and Jaunty Jubilee on himself. You want to do this first, so Sky is imbued and can deal proper damage. That also increases your morale gauge a little bit more than it usually does. It's not necessary, but it's nice to have. Tiana is going to Brave Shift. By the way, you can already send in Lara and Ferris. They will always do the same for the most part. Especially Ferris is nice to send in early because she has 1 billion attacks. Tiana Brave Shifts Trouble Brewing, Iridescendant Invention on Sky because we haven't done the 150 buffs yet. So we need to absorb some damage on Sky. And then we'll start stacking Unstable Wind twice. So let's do that. And Louise is doing triple Ionic and Tactical for Bulwark. Alright, and now we just wait for this to finish. And we should end up at 169-ish. Nice. Let's see, I've always sometimes seen 170, but that's really lucky in pushing it. Jeez, Ferris. If you thought Karten doing Barrage was bad, you'll hate Ferris. 169. Nice. Alright, with his Magnus up, Bulwark is absolutely safe from now on. And yeah, as you can see, nobody takes damage, Sky absorbs it even, so we are fine. Alright, turn 3. We can just repeat Ferris and Lara. We can also repeat Louise, but not before we do this stuff first. So Quintuple, we'll do Rainbow, Revitalizing, we'll do double Electric Yellow Concussion for the LB film, for Sky mainly, and Watery Blue Concussion. So let's wait for this to finish. There we go, we needed both, that's fine though. So press Sky, well then press Louise, and Bulwark on turn 3 Brave Shifts. We'll do Morale, cheer up, we'll do Theme, and we'll do Electric Ensemble. And that way we will have the morale gauge filled already. And technically speaking, we should be looking at our first 100 out of 300% morale gained. So 10,000 morale gained points secured. All right. And if you don't have a full EX plus 3 team, but still reach 200% morale on this turn, you know for sure that you have done at least 105% morale. Alright, so nobody takes damage, like I said. Good, now Sky shifts back, and for the next 3 turns she'll be doing World Destroyer. So let's press Sky first, let's redirect onto the own team. You can, if you like, also press Resounding Will for more morale gain. It's not needed though. We'll repeat these 2. And now Tiana will start stacking her wind abilities. So, come on. Quintuple, Unstable Wind, Let's go. Louise will just recast Barbara Saga, and Bulwark will do triple Chirrup, Mowgli Mixtape, and Mascophony. Mascophony has a 75% damage reduction attached to it, so that's really cool. We don't technically need it, but more damage reduction is fine because we don't have any dedicated healing or healer, so less damage taken is always better. Also, the Magnus is about to run out, so using the Mascophony ability is actually a decent choice. Okay, come on, Ferris. Stop stalling. But rest assured, that was the last time we are using fast attack. From here on out, she'll be singing, so less actions to go through. And less motions to go through too. There we go. Alrighty. So we'll have Ferris sing. World Destroyer yet again. Retarget. Let's just do attack buff again for more morale gain. So let's sing. We can safely repeat these two. Louise will Brave Shift and press double Ionic, disarming and neutralizing. And a Bulwark does Chirrup, Mixtape, and Killers. Boss trying to do damage, but ultimately fails to do so. Okay, so let's shift back. Louise, she's gonna do Barbara Saga. Sky will yet again World Destroyer, boss and the team. Tiana is going to limit burst on this turn. The 150% killers, they last until the end of the battle. It's 5 turns duration, so that's fine. Also, what happened to the background? Oh, it's fine. I was kind of surprised. Okay, so we'll repeat Lara. She's still using Calamity Border. And Fat Chocobo is using Hurricane, Chirrup, and Refresh Mascophony. Alrighty. There we go. So turn 7, our first burst turn. We'll do a barrier. We'll heal up. We don't actually need to heal up, but let's just do it anyway. We'll do resilient. We'll do resounding. And before we do anything, we need to incapacitate. This will last until the end of the fight. Power boost, tactical armor, and diverse arsenal. And that's the first actions we do. Lara Brave Shifts, Volatile Ammunition, Tiana does triple Unstable Wind and Trouble Brewing, Sky Brave Shifts, and Limits. We won't push the 50% threshold, don't get fooled, we do have 2 turns to push the boss. So we'll chain Lara and Tiana and finish off with Sky. The damage ranges from 60% boss health to 64%. I've seen both. Let's see where we end up. %, that's fine. Alright, So, turn 7, Fat Jacobo shifts back, we'll do Chirrup, Kupo Clang, and Blair. Now, Lara might die here if the boss does 2 or more Cerulean Flash. So there's 1, there's 2, Lara is dead. Too bad, but we can fix this. And it's absolutely fine if she dies, because we will rebuff her entirely. It's a little bit bad if she does, but to be honest, really. So Lara is going to Calamity Border this turn. We'll redo the attack and magic buff. We'll Brave Shift Louise, but it's actually good for the purpose of this video that Lara died this turn. It's a little bit easier if she doesn't, but rest assured I can show that this does not matter one bit in the end. Alright, so Louise does triple bolting strike, 1 disarming to refresh the Gun Emperor. Sky shifts back and does triple Skyfall in base form. And Tiana quintuples Unstable Wind. So the way this is done is you start off chaining Louise and Tiana, and then weave in Sky at the end. Now I know that I will be able to defeat the boss anyway, or push the boss to 49%. So what I'm gonna do is I will do Morale, I will do Mascophony, and I will do Killers. That is the first step. So now Lara has her killers back at least. And on turn 9, you can do Hurricane, and she'll have the Wind Amp too, and the Wind Imbue. So all is going to be good. Right, let's start off with Louise and Tiana. Send in Sky. And there we go. The boss is now pushed. And as you can see, the chain was still going while we already were pushing the boss. So there's a lot of wiggle room. And the cool thing is, we push the boss on a turn that is super safe. Everyone is in their safe form, so nothing can go wrong at all here. Great. Turn 9. Lara is going to use Hymn of the Faith, that is the Yuna STMR. Louise shifts back. She does Power Boost, Tactical Armor, Diverse Arsenal for Lara 2, and Ionic. And that's why I said it doesn't matter whether Lara dies or procs the revive. As long as she isn't totally dead, it's absolutely fine. Sky, just to do anything, she's gonna do Merc. And Tiana gets her last remaining 5 stacks Unstable Wind this turn. And Bulwark, we still need to re-imbue, so Hurricane Harmony, Chirrup, and Electric Ensemble. Alright, everyone's back to full mana, yada yada yada. We are good to go and burst. So Bulwark will take some damage, but ultimately it won't matter. And if you really want to make sure that everything is fine with Lara, you can always check, right? So we still have the Plant Killer, 1 more turn left. We still got the buffs here, etc, etc. Here's the imbue. So everything's good with Lara. And everyone else, obviously, too. So let's do the morale buffs. Lara Brave Shifts. Bulwark does use volatile ammunition. Bulwark does triple Mascophony. Tiana quintuples Unstable Wind. Sky Brave Shifts and Limits. Ferris Base Forms and Limits. and Louis brave shifts. And this is the annoying part of this whole thing. You have to use disarming twice, neutralizing a nanomachine, and weaving this in. It's a huge issue, but it's doable. So the way this works is Ferris starts, you then send in Louise, and very, very shortly thereafter, I think my macro is set for, let me check. Where is it? My macro says 233 milliseconds, so 14 frames afterwards. Tiana starts 18 frames of 300 milliseconds afterwards. Bulwark starts and 2900 milliseconds. Lara starts 2.9 seconds later. Now, the issue with recording this is my PC is old and bad. And usually when I don't record, the chain perfectly works. It's a 126 chain, all is well. For this video, you will see the chain break. 100%, I'm absolutely sure this chain is going to break. Please don't get confused. Don't comment, oh, this isn't working. Well, it is not working because my PC is bad. If I turn off the stream or the video, it works 100%, or else I wouldn't be rank 1. It's that easy. All right, and obviously you press Sky last or once Lara is going. All right, so let's show this off once. Let's go. We'll send in Ferris. We'll wait. Send these two in. Yeah, and I already saw Lara going in way too quick, so this is going to break 100%. There we go. It's just whatever. I can't help it. This PC is so bad. So there should have been a, yeah, we've had a chain breaking. We dealt 2 billion, so this probably would have been a cap if it worked properly. It didn't. Rest assured, I capped exactly the same way. It's just that my PC can't handle it. I can also see we had a full morale gauge, so that's fine. Here's the damage breakdown, but keep in mind the chain broke. 400 million on Louise, 126 on Ferris. So yeah, from the numbers that I'm seeing here, this would have capped. Now, Sky is a little bit low. In my best attempt or my cap attempt, Sky had 1.1 billion, but the two units that failed the chain were Lara and Tiana. Those were the two that had last hits. That chained up to 12 at the end, so just add another 500 million, 300 million from Lara, 200 million from Tiana, and you're pretty much on the spot here. So yeah, that is it. That's how you do it. You just gotta not record this, or have a decent PC, or phone, or tablet, or whatever you're playing on, and it'll work. So that is all there is to this, and yeah, as you can see, I have my tickets already, so I am done with Clash of Worlds, finally. And yeah, by the way, just to prove this one more time, this was the same team, as you can see. There's no hidden strat to this. No hidden things, it's just not recording it is the solution. Okay, so I hope this helped. If you're asking for substitutes because you don't have a particular unit, I'm very sorry to say that this is so much optimized you cannot exchange. For example, Bulwark, the strat does not work without Bulwark. The strat also doesn't work without Ferris, it doesn't work without Tiana or Lara, so there's no way to substitute here. But well, you can substitute one unit, and I'm quite sure that Sincer is going to do it, and it's Ferris. You could use, because we're only at 14 out of 18, you could use Mughal Narsh for the 25% Imperil field. And I really hope that Sincer does it. He was talking, or we were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to do it with Mughal Narsh. I hope he's going to do it. Let me check the comments. Yeah, I think he's going to do it with Narsh, so look forward to his clear, because that's going to be fun too. Anyway, I'm out. I hope this helped. Best of luck to your variance rolls. And, oh, by the way, this strat, it usually ranges from 2.3 billion for me to 2.85 billion. So there's lots of wiggle room, and it took me 7 attempts to cap this, so it's rather easy. Anyways, thank you all for watching. See you then. Bye bye.